Hello, everyone. This is Francine. I'm so glad you're here to watch Autumn is here today. Today is just me, and I don't have any fancy music or anything like that happening. It's just me trying to give you a show because I had some experiences. Um, Autumn is here is about helping people to get more involved with their aging parents and dealing with support for caregivers. And many of the topics is on dementia and Alzheimer's and things like that. So, trying to do things, get things, information to people about caregiving has been very interesting. You know, when we approach people with caregiving and information for them, sometimes people, they receive it like, oh yeah, they're familiar with it, but it seems like the importance of it, the impact of it is not so important. And I'm trying to figure out like what is it? So that's why we decided to get together and do a program on June 7th. We're going to do a program on caregiving, dementia, and community. Because in the African American community, we are twice as likely to get Alzheimer's than the white community. And part of that is information and education and not being able to, articulate what we're going through or not going to the doctor for things where we think it's simple and it's just senility and things like that. Caregiving, a lot of times with caregiving, people don't understand what the caregiver is going through. So where they know that you are a caregiver, if they know, um, they don't really approach you with support or help or anything because nobody knows how to support you. So and those are the caregivers that people know about. There are people who don't tell people that they're taking care of their family. And some of the reasons are, they just think that that's what they're going to do and it's not, not necessarily something that's public, that should be public. Or some people are embarrassed and ashamed of how their parent is now. You know, um, some people are just gonna you know, believe that, they have the help that they need and they're going to go through it, but not realize that it changes as you go along. Because if the person deteriorates, it's going to change. It's very interesting how, it seems like we don't realize the impact and how important caregiving is and how it can really hurt the person who's caring for someone. Things can happen to them that can make them have a hard time with life, uh, not go to the doctor, not be well, and still be doing caregiving and giving to someone else and not taking care of themselves. They isolate themselves. Their relationships change because they can't do certain things or they don't feel like doing certain things. So it's so much going on with caregiving, and not necessarily that you have to be caring for someone with dementia, but just caregiving because you don't know how long it's going to be. And some people have to change their whole lives. Some people have to relocate. Some people have to change their jobs. And it's real important to get that information out there because we want people to understand that it's really serious. It's really serious because it does change your life. And we want to start talking about it more, especially in our community. So that's why we have a event on June 7th in Brooklyn, New York at Cornerstone Baptist Church. And we're going to have an event and everything is free. And we're going to have people come out and just share information to you and educate you and let's talk about it because if you never hear about it, if no one says the word, if no one talks about it, it's just not going to be something that's going to hit and going to something that's going to people going to pay attention to. We want you to pay attention to it when someone says they're a caregiver, they're caring for their dad or their mom. It's important. There should be certain things that can trigger, say, I wonder how I can help that person, or really watch and see how that person is going because they can be deteriorating right in front of your eyes, because they are giving so much to someone else and not filling themselves up back up, and their lifestyle can change. And also with dementia, we want to give people information on dementia. In our community, um, we have so many cases of dementia that people don't realize until it's advanced. And it's important for you to be able to realize the signs of dementia. It's more than just forgetting. People do different things that you might think is just, silly or something like that. And by the time we realize that there's an issue, it's already advanced. So we want to make sure that people are more aware of dementia, the types of dementia, and how it affects us, and how there's support and help out there, and how you can actually live a quality life even if you have dementia. So we don't want people who do have some dementia to be ashamed of it, to hide it, because if you hide it, you won't get help. So we don't want that to happen. So we want to start talking about it so people know that there's help out there, so people know that there are people out there that are continuing to do research and trying to do the different things. There is some medicines out there that will help to slow it down, the progression. There are different things that are out there. So that's what we're trying to do, to talk about it more. One of the other things that we're trying to do, we're trying to get communities involved. We're trying to get churches involved in being aware of it, seeing the signs of it, being proactive about it, and being able to help their members if they are in a situation where they're either caregivers or they have dementia. So there are things that we don't think about, because if you're not going through it, you're not going to think about it. And, the church is our place of community. It's our place of safety. It's our place where we have spiritual strength and we are comfortable. And that might be the place that we need to be talking about this more and have some things in place when we have members in our congregation who are dealing with these things. So that's why we're going to do this event on June 7th. And Caring Kindness is the people who are sponsoring it, and we appreciate that because they're an Alzheimer's organization, and they've been around for a while. And we want to share this with other people who are um, have the information for us, or people who are there going through other healthcare people who are helping other organizations get the word out. So if you're in Brooklyn, New York, on June 7th at 11 o'clock, please come to Cornerstone Baptist Church, 574 Madison Street in Brooklyn. Please come there and get some information. We will have a meal and things like that, and we'll be able to sit and talk about different things. We might have an extra little treat for y'all too, extra little theatrical treat. We might have that too. So please come out. And we just really want the impact, because when you talk about it, people say, oh, yeah, but it's not hitting that it could be me one day. It could be me needing care, or it could be me that has to give care. It's so much better when you have the information. It's so much better when you know there's support out there. It's so much better when you know how to approach illness or approach people who are caregiving. Is so much better when you have education on different illnesses, or education on, where do I get the information that I need to get? How do I speak to a doctor? Like, what do I ask for? At what point do I take my parent to the doctor and say, hey, we need a memory test? There's just so many things that um, are involved in it. And if we keep if we keep glazing over it, we're going to lose out. We're going to lose out. And we're not going to be aware that someone has an illness like dementia until it's advanced. And we don't want to do that. We want to do things early while it's mild, and we have some things that will help, and will help them, and will help the caregiver to help them to have a better quality of life with dementia. Okay, that's my show for today. It is just me, and I just wanted to give you some information on that, and I want that to soak in a little bit. So when someone is doing a health fair or something like that, and they're talking about dementia or Alzheimer's, or they're talking about caregiving, show up to it. See what information helps you. Everybody needs different information, but there's something there that will help you, or help a neighbor, or help someone in your building. So please, if you can come by, come by. But think about this in other communities, that there are things that we should start talking about ourselves to help ourselves and help our communities. Part of the reason why we suffer more is because we don't have the information, and we need sometimes to be proactive and go out and get the information and bring it back to our community. And that's what we're going to do with Autumn is Here. All right, I'll talk to you soon. See you next week. Thank you.